On stage number one, after reading the customer needs, they wanted to monitor floods, fires, and deforestation. But to make that more adaptable to their requirements, we decided to go with areas with risk of fire. And for that, we have four goals. Our first goal is about coverage. Our second goal is about availability. Our third goal is about accuracy. Also, our fourth goal is about preciseness, and each of them makes the environment for us to be able to monitor temperatures in the Amazonia rainforest and to identify those temperatures as which could be a risk of fire in the Amazonia rainforest.
In stage 2, guided by the IDF0 model, Latin American Corporation and Environmental Organization will contribute the inputs. In Control OCTA is the governmental organization among the countries that make up the Amazon. CubeDesign will be another guide for our limitations together with environment ministers. In the mechanisms part, the PanamaSat team will carry out CubeSat with the help of Space National Research Institutes, and input it will be by the organization that Latin American Corp has higher ups. So we also define the requirements for the initial stakeholders based on the type of products we can use for satellite from which data will be provided to the customer and also the region that the read need to cover. We identify the type of verification that we will use for the requirements and how are these requirements related to the objective of the mission.
In stage 3, we will talk about the operational scenarios as is and to be. In the operational scenario as is, we have found 3 methods used for the monitoring of the Amazon rainforest. These include radar-equipped planes, fire lookout towers, and drone-based forest monitoring. The current chart shows the data flow for the operational scenario as is. We can see how the data flows from the monitoring methods to the mission control, to the monitoring center, and finally to our client, Latin Ambient Corp. From there, Latin Ambient Corp forwards this information to the users. These can include but are not limited to environmental organizations, environmental institutions, and national governments. In the operational scenario to be, we will have the same monitoring methods but with the aid of the CubeSat we will be developing. For the data flow for the operational scenario to be, we can see that we have the same monitoring methods but with the inclusion of the CubeSat.
For stage 4, we will present our stakeholders with that respective requirement based on the scenario or mission payload, starting with identifying our stakeholders in a diagram we have in the center or scenario. On the left side, we can find our payload specialist in charge of getting deeper into payload information and detail. The telecommunication engineer making sure we get that data from the CubeSat and the ground station operators. That input can give us an output of information and data for our customer Latin Ambient Corp, and also to that ground station operators, control center, and system engineer for other technical or operational issues. About the diagram, we have ground station operator and control center making sure quality requirements, police, procedure, or any other topic related to control were as expected. Finally, we have the mechanisms for the scenario when that ground station operator and that control center with the facilities, equipment, and that personnel for mission operational issue. Now getting into the scenario stakeholder requirements, we have DC requirement proposed, for example, that moment of activation and the activation of the teledetection, which provides the subsystem for control and precision that way to collect data, the processing of data, and the transmission of data. Each of the requirements are classified by their ID, compliance, origin, type, verifiability, and traceability.
For the final stage, we have stage number 5, which contains system requirements. The first requirement is that the file system 001. The system composed of a series of words, for example, and mandatory O. Organization relay, P. Product relay, I. Inspection, and A. Analysis. All the systems are of the operational type. Following the requirement we also have last but not least is System 005. The system must disactivate the teleelection operation when the satellite is out of the region of interest to avoid depletion of EPS reserves and OBC capacity. Verification. Verified by analyst. The verification method will be type is categorized as operational. The type of requirement in the case will be operational. Traceability. The traceability will be stage 002. Thank you.